Hello and welcome, my Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate read, your romantic soulmate read. Timeless, but June, July 2020 is my time frame that I'm doing these for. Welcome to that, indeed. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mel for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Join the Circle Productions. Very, very happy to be serving you, and I'm also the son of a Cancer moon mother. Yes, raised by crabs, that's me. So if you're new to my channel, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, and commenting in the comment section below, because it do help people find my work if they should need it. Cool, cool. So let's get down to that work, shall we? This is a romantic soulmate read. Now, soulmate is different than twin flame. There are some links in the description box below that will help define the difference between twin flame and soulmate. A bunch that I did, one by Matt Kahn, Hay House author, brilliant YouTuber. I mean, I don't think he calls himself a YouTuber, but Matt Kahn, All for Love. If you'd like to check out his stuff, I highly recommend him. But it's a soul contract. It's an agreement written into the lives when you incarnate into them that you work out certain things with certain people in certain ways. The foundation of a soulmate contract is you help each other heal. That's why they're not just romantic, sexual, like my mom and I are soulmates in that way. We are a soulmate contract, no question. My dad and I were twin flame, very, very different. But obviously not a romantic one, me and my mom, duh, right? So, you know, ew, plus I'm gay. But you sort of get the idea, right? These readings are about the romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual, soulmate, satisfying, symbiotic contracts, particularly in the romantic genre that we've been working on for lifetimes, considering psychology relatively new on that timeline. So we're getting there little by little, being the mates of our own soul so that we can be better soul mates. So we are going to be looking at it as a contract. One of these two cards will be you, my Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. The other will be the mate in your soulmate contract, and we'll have a look at that through a Celtic cross spread. You'll see as we go. I'll call out the positions. All the decks that I am reading are in the description box below. And I think that's about it. Let's go have a look-see-dooksy, shall we? Take a nice deep breath. Oh, that's the thing. Please remember, stay focused on your breath, because you will be able to take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and then check your other signs, right? Because you have more than one soulmate contract, maybe not more than one romantic sexual one, but sometimes they can give you different angles and different archetypes of the same contract, because we're more than one archetype in any one relationship. Cool. Breathe. As I need to stay in the present moment to bring through the clarity, the guidance, the grace of my collective pantheons as we now dive in. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. I need two cards for this soulmate contract, this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual soulmate contract for June, July 2020, or timeless. Please, what is the dominant archetype for the Cancerian Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in this contract? And what is the dominant archetype of the soul mate, the mate of the soul? Now, what's going to be fun about this is the Celtic cross is going to be built on top of these two. You'll see how it goes. But do keep in mind, you're helping each other heal. Archetypes are neutral. There is both light and shadow within them. The idea is that you're going to heal the shadow by bringing it into the light, alchemize the lead to gold, the sick to the healthy, however you want to see that. Ready? You're going to help each other with this. Keep that in mind. Here we go. Soulmate contract. We've got the gossip and the companion. So you are the gossip, my Cancerian. We'll talk about that in a minute. The gossip is the creative family of archetypes, and your soulmate is the companion, the healing family of archetypes. For the gossip, the shadow attribute you can imagine, right? Thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information. It's interesting, there's something about confidences here with this one as well. And betraying confidences. I'll get to that there. The light attribute awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Now, I will tell you, I've worked with many gossip archetypes throughout my career, Cancerian and otherwise, and some of them make brilliant counselors, right? When they are really in their healthier aspect, they just draw the truth out of people. People just confess to them. But to me, the healthy side of the gossip, I don't call the gossip, I call the confessor. The person that you can go to and there's that confidentiality in there. Gossip has bitten me on the ass so many times that I took vows of confidentiality with my gods, which opened up this whole other world of clairvoyant empathy. Once they got that, I actually made it a blood oath to my gods that, you know, let my skills be based on that, right? So it's a big deal, gossip. I mean, it's different than, you know, celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I think if you're a celebrity, there's a certain amount of that you just have to come along with. This is really about betraying confidences, which is interesting. With the companion, betrayal by misusing confidences. Literally says it right on the card. Loss of personal identity as a companion will do. Like sort of like Dick Grayson as Robin needing to become Nightwing, right? You can get lost in the shadow of the bat. So it was, you can lose your sense of personal identity. But the light attribute, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness, right? So this could be a very, very powerful healing couple together, particularly, I'll say, psychotherapeutically, in that if they can really keep those boundaries of confidentiality in place, and there's nothing they can't say to each other, that they could really, really help each other create and heal together. Feels lovely. Now watch what we're gonna do now. We're gonna take the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, and one card at a time, face down, we're gonna lay out the Celtic cross with the first two cards, the cover and the cross, being you, the cover, and your soulmate, the cross. Now, of course, if there is a cross-watcher situation here, you would be the companion. You would be in the second position, not the first. Cool? Let's do this. Breathe. Do keep in mind the goddesses that share the throne of Cancerian stuff is Hestia, Hera, and Hecate, the Virgin, the Queen, and the Crone of the Crossroads. So they like doing these readings through me. So let's see what you got here. Breathe. My goddesses, please. 10 cards, one at a time. We'll pull them for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Soulmate contract, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual soulmate contract for June, July 2020, or timeless, whenever they are supposed to see it. Please, what is the card that covers this gossip archetype? Yeah, this Cancerian. What is the card that crosses, which will represent the companion soulmate here? What is at the core of this contract right now in the present? Where have they been? What is behind them? What is crowning them? What is coming into being, maybe right even as this reading is taking place? What is before them in this contract? What is the lesson, please, this contract is currently serving? What does this contract look like from the outside looking in, horizontal trajectory? What is the fate being alchemized into destiny on the hero's journey of fate and destiny of this contract? And what is the, considering the timeline and the lifetime of the quantum variation of which I am reading, what is the possible, most likely possible outcome for this Cancerian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs? June, July 2020 soulmate contract. Just mind you, the landscapers have been in the neighborhood, so I might have to pause this if they are literally blowing leaves outside of my window, because you can hear it. So, but let's dive in, shall we? So, my Cancerian crablet gossip archetype, remember, in its light aspect, absolutely amazing, so healing, such a safe space. But we've got the Four of Blades, the card of deception. Now, it's called deception in this deck, but if you really look into the imagery consistently across tarot lines or in different decks, the Four of Swords is often about meditation and contemplation, but in this case, really looking at where you have your blinders on. Very hard to see where your blinders are, but considering you've got the creative family archetype of the gossip, maybe there are some, all right, here's what I'm getting, that there are some things that you adapted to along the way in terms of who you can trust, who you can talk about, who you can't, what you share, what you don't, as a result of getting caught in that snap trap and that clap trap of gossip, right? that maybe you feel like you can't share yourself, that there's something there that you're not really looking at, maybe because you've betrayed some confidences, and you might be sensing, particularly with this companion archetype, who has Shakti the Life Dancer, the Universe card here, which is a good thing. I feel that. You might feel like you can't trust them, but I'm telling you, with this, they've learned their lesson. I feel like this companion has learned. It's the card of the universe, the world. They are literally wrapping up a cycle in their life. I wouldn't say in your contract. Soulmate contracts, when you guys part ways, it's usually irons itself out, right? It's usually a peaceable thing, like, oh, I love you so much, have a good life, even romantically, I hear that happens. It's happened. Plenty of times I have turned lovers into brothers. It's a tricky gnosis. Sorry, I can't help myself with that one. It's a tricky knowing, a tricky gnosis, but it's doable, right? But I don't necessarily get that feeling here. I get a feeling like this is in their own personal lives. Your soulmate here, companion, like a really good friend, good buddy, but also the romantic sexual stuff is there. There is that feeling of companionship. This could really, really be a lovely, wonderful thing, but you might not be seeing this person clearly as a result of the projection of your own guilt of being a gossip. I don't know that I can trust them. Well, can you trust yourself to not share confidential information? That's kind of what I'm getting here. What's at the core of this? The core of this is 9 of Pentacles. Both of you are very, very secure within yourselves, at least in terms of physicality, right? It's like you may not be starving for anything physically, emotionally, in that sense. Maybe mentally, spiritually, we all get those hungers for a little stimulation here and there. But maybe even sexually, like it might be like, no, considering where we are on planet Earth still, you know what I'm talking about. That global thing we got going on. Wearing masks like it's Halloween 24/7. You with me? 9 of Pentacles. You're all very sane and safe and at least whole within yourself. Of course, we all have our issues, our day-to-day healings. Should I pause? No, he moved on. Okay. Did he feel that mental push from my third eye saying, move away? Recent past. What got you here? Most likely, you have already both gone into seclusion, either separately or together. The 8 of Cups, classic walking away, although in this deck, to me, it is withdrawal into the self, particularly Cancerians, literally right outside my door. Not too bad, though. Literally pulling into your shell. One of the original images of the Cancerian energy was the turtle. Right, that idea of house and home, just kind of pulling inside yourself, because it's a water sign, not an earth sign, Cancerian. So people think of their house, where really Cancerian is more of the home. So this is certainly a pulling back and going within, withdrawal, perhaps from the relationship, or at least going into yourself, usually for renewal, inspiration, rest, healing, that kind of stuff. Feels like you're both doing that, but now we look at the crown. What's crowning is the Ace of Cups, a new offering of love here. May start with communication, certainly, but it feels like you two might already know each other, particularly with the gossip and the companion. There's probably a little chitty chat going on, some convo bouncing back between the two of you. But there's something that feels very, very new about this. Like if this is already a relationship where the two of you are sort of living together, but you needed to take space within the same living domain. I get that partially, because Cancerians can do that. Usually they can compartmentalize themselves as long as they have their own room, right? As long as they have their own space that they can do that in. And certainly with looking at this card of deception for you, Cancerian, there's something you're not seeing clearly, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about this companion archetype you're dealing with. But it feels like your eyes, you're going to see things differently, right? The Ace of Cups, that card of happiness, the seed of that new emotion may very well wipe your eyes clean a little bit if you're open to it. Because really, both of you, you're pretty secure. So it's not about the money, right? Doesn't feel like it's about the physical safety necessarily. But let's keep going. Where is this headed? What's before you? 9 of Cups, the Kuan Yin card, often called the wish fulfillment card, and keep in mind now you have 2 9s on the table. Balaba, Polynesian goddess of fertility, and Kuan Yin, Chinese goddess slash bodhisattva, depending on who you read, of compassion and contentment. So very much going with the flow, going from the ace to the 9 pretty quickly. My sense is perhaps maybe this is a new love, someone that you may know, but because they've been a companion, it might have been more friendly. We'll see. This feels really lovely. I like this for you. What's the lesson, though? You're learning how to let go. Not so much in the never talk to me again, let go, but that thing of the Hanged Man, reversal in this deck. Seeing things differently, a voluntary sacrifice, a voluntary letting go, at least a sacrifice of what? A point of view, a way of seeing things, surrendering deceptions. Now that does feel like that is across the board. Remember, this is your reading, even though all of these cards refer to the contract itself. It does feel like there are some points of view, they're giving me the word positioning. Now, they're putting it in a political context, but I'm not necessarily saying that's true for everybody in this reading. But if you're looking at a Democrat and a Republican together, they could be very polarized, right? Very much stuck in their positions, no matter what. It feels like something like that is being surrendered here, although I doubt it's political. It could be for some of you. But that thing of this is worth it. Or, I mean, really, if the two of you are not together and you're with different people, this could also be like, I'm waiting my time till I get out of here, until I can be with this person. Because really, from the 4th position to the 5th position, you go from the Ace of Cups to the 9 of Cups. Granted, it's not that full 10, but there's definitely an acknowledgement and a recognition of an emotional truth here, a vibrational love soul connection here that's very emotional, and I would think would be very hard to repress or deny for very long, considering you've got 2 9s on the table. Oh, and by the way, you go from this is what I love about tarot, you go from the 8 in the past to the 9 in the future. See what I'm saying? Very, very cool. What do you got to let go of? What do you got to see differently? From the outside looking in, horizontally, how does this one look? 4 of Cups. I'm just getting the two of you might have to break some hearts to be together. There might be a lot of sadness and a lot of sorrow for the two of you to be together. Either that or from the outside looking in, you've already had each other, lost each other, trying to get each other back. Yeah, and I guess that could be like, I'm seeing between like maybe 15 to 20% of those who might be watching this. But this is really more from the outside looking in. It's like the two of you aren't happy, but I feel like you're not happy because you're not together. It's an experience that I had with someone in my life that I had to let go of. Don't know if it was twin flame or soulmate, because there is the twin flame soulmate hybrid, according to Matt Kahn, that happens every now and again. We'll see if he ever comes back, if that ever happens. But the thing is we were never unhappy when we were together. It was only when we were apart. So if you two are apart, from the outside looking in, it's sort of like the two of you really are dissatisfied with the situations that you're in. There's not that flow of love. There's not that sense of physical connection, but it feels like the communication between the two of you is definitely there. And keeping in mind, this companion is literally at the end of a cycle and ready to begin a new one. And what crowns it? A new cycle of water, at least. Interesting. Fate and destiny. Where are you on the hero's journey with all of this? The 10 of Blades resolution. All the pieces of the puzzle on the table, right? The ceremony of the rattle, Native American, it's the talking stick, essentially, is so what people did to this beautiful, important therapeutic ceremony. They're passing the talking stick, right? It's the rattle. Whoever has the rattle is the only one who talks and everybody else listens, and it gets passed around the tribal circle until everybody has had their say, right? This is a realization. This is a coming together. This is all of the data coming in so that you can have not just a realization, but some synthesis, some completion on this on a mental level. And really saying, with the gossip and the companion, there just seems to be a lot of confidences and talking and conversations going on here, that you two might very well complete each other in that sense. So there's a realization that what it's going to take to do this might be terrifying, but it might be where you all have to put your cards on the table and speak the truth. And My Cancerians, your last card down is the Cancerian card. You become more of yourself as a result of moving towards and into the soulmate contract. I love when a zodiac card is the zodiac side I am reading for and it's in the last position of a Celtic cross spread, because it really does say this is about your soul integrating into your body. This is about your ego unraveling and your soul shining forth, a great healing, you becoming more authentic. It's a little hard. More authentic. It's all one word. Really, 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 really lovely. Definitely a lovely heart energy here. Empathically, this is wonderful. The only things that really, it feels like the two of you can't be together. Well, that might be because you're all sheltering in place. But even where you are, my Cancerian, with that gossip, it's just, there's something here you're not seeing. Your companion feels really like ready to move into the next phase, but from the outside looking in, this card of sorrow, the Four of Blades, emotional discontent, or at least emotional rest and reflection. I almost said reflux, might be that too, to really kind of tune in. How do I feel about this? I don't know. An uneasiness there that needs to be resolved. And it feels like you're both feeling it, but not so much towards each other, but about where you are, because it feels like you can't be together. Now, if you haven't met each other yet, that's a different story altogether, but then you know at least you're kind of feeling the same thing. We've got 3 more cards to go to help you with this. I'm not leaving you with that. What I'm going to get you is one, Healing with the Angels Oracle card, Doreen Virtue, for the angel that is extending its hands to both you and your soulmate partner here in this contract to help you heal. So you'll know which one to ask for or keep your eye out for. Breathe. My angels, please, one card in clarity. Who is the healing angel through the Healing with the Angels Oracle that is offering their help, their healing, their service, their guidance, their grace to this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual, soulmate contract for June, July 2020, or timeless? Who you got? Who you got for them? Well, spiritual growth. Good. So if the two of you aren't together, at least know that your way through this, one would think the most graceful way through this, is to understand that this contract is a soulmate contract helping you heal, which means you're going to grow spiritually as a result of this. And let's just say it. What makes us mature is when we don't get what we want. Yes, it would be lovely if we always got what we want, but it can get a little Veruca Salt, if you catch my reference there, right? So sometimes being denied what we want in the moment makes us grow and mature here. And considering we've got the gossip and the companion, both of which may have trouble in their shadow with confidence, says spiritual growth is absolutely part of that maturity that says, no, confidences are sacred. Right? I get to choose. It's all throat chakra. I get to choose whether I break this confidence or not. Yeah? It's tricky shit. It's tricky gnosis. Tricky knowing. G-N-O-S-I-S. I can't believe they gave me that phrase like decades ago. I try and use it sparingly because people have no idea. They think I'm literally talking about trichinosis. Unlike Salmonella. Leave Sal alone. He's a good guy. I know Salmonella. I dated Salmonella. All right, let's get you a healing, a Whisper of Love Oracle card from your higher selves. Now, the deal here is, your higher self is going to choose this card as well as the higher self of your soulmate co-partner, co-contractee, if you want to really be legal about it. Breathe. Higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for the Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their soulmate contracts, really for both of them. What is the Whisper of Love from the Cancerian collective for this gossip archetype and this companion archetype in this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, soulmate, satisfying contract, June, July 2020, or timeless? Be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. So let's just say, my Cancerian, any deception that you have going on, whether it's you are the one being the deceiver or the one being deceived, it is time to call this out on the carpet. It is time to really say, it is time for authenticity here. What do I really feel? What do I really think? Even, okay, this is what's coming through for the Cancerian for sure. Even if it's just for the moment, right? It don't have to be, but what if I don't feel this way tomorrow? Well, then you will get to be authentic in a different way tomorrow. Be authentic. This is what I feel. People feel like once they discover what's truly authentic to them, then they can make their decisions and they will never suffer again. Who does that happen to, right? You be authentic in the moment and you do the best that you can, knowing that you can always decide yet again. Thank you, A Course in Miracles. Yeah, Google that. Decide, choose yet again. Decide, Holy Spirit, decide for God for me. Good old Course in Miracles. Well, so speaking of A Course in Miracles, Ascended Masters, Angels, and all that jazz, let's get you a Healing Mantra Deck card. From the MatCon Healing Mantra Deck, which, what a coincidence, it comes from the deck it's named after. Whoever does this mantra, works this mantra, what you put into it, you get out of it. Either one of you, the Gossip Cancerian or the Soulmate Companion, will help the contract heal. It's the quantum entanglement of a soulmate contract. As one of you, you're always going to help each other heal, whether you've even met or not. You're doing that. You may very well be clearing each other's energy fields by the emotions that you're feeling, thinking they're your own. Empathy doesn't usually work that way. Breathe. Sure, symbolic resonance of content, I understand. My guides are correcting me as I go. Breathe. Because those must be the Ascended Masters. Hello, my Ascended Masters of Soulmate Contracts. Please, can I have one card in clarity for this Cancerian collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, soulmate contract for June, July 2020. Or timeless, please. I really like these two. I mean, I like doing the soulmate reads. You know that. So please, what is the mantra? The perfect healing mantra for this Cancerian gossip archetype and their soulmate, the companion. Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. Everything is for me, not against me. Everything is for me, not against me. Here's the joke I do with that when you're having a bad day. Everything is for me, not against me. Everything is for me, not against me. Everything is for me. Like natal position rocking in a corner, right? But it does help. It really, and I'm going to read it from the book for you, but this is really saying that everything that's going down in this relationship and where you are, even if you're not together, it's all happening for you. It's not to be holding you back. Oh, I almost opened right to the page. Integrating the ego. Everything is for me, not against me. When your ego is integrated, there are no problems to fix or questions to answer. Well, that's lovely. There are just the aligned responses of the soul's reality, acknowledging life as fertile ground where greater expansion is revealed. So, I mean, obviously that is a spiritual growth thing where you really see everything that happens as part of the training of your soul, the soul fully integrating into your experience. As you integrate, greater expansion is revealed. As you integrate your ego, every moment can be seen to be conspiring for your highest evolution instead of plotting against you. So the idea of the universe conspiring for your soul, for your growth, right? Your soul's expansion, your spiritual growth, rather than everything's against us. So it may feel very much like for the two of you, it's you and me against the world, where it's really the world putting you in the perfect situation for this soul contract to fulfill its purpose, though it may not look that way and it may not feel that way. But honey, the amount of water cards, let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 in this spread are water. How are we doing for major arcana here? 1, 2. We only got 2. So, I mean, with the spiritual growth card, it all kind of balances out. But water is your dominant element here. Last bit. This mantra is ideal for overcoming victimhood, being more grateful, and becoming more forgiving. Everything is for me, not against me. So let me pop up the picture and we'll see what else my guides and pantheons of deity want to show me. Ready? Nice deep breath. Magic clap. Because we've got you, my Cancerian, as the gossip archetype. The shadow attribute thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. The light attribute awakens consideration for the feelings of others. Honoring trust, where you feel yourself about to say it and you're like, you know what, they would probably be really upset if I told them that, and so you swallow that rather than spit it out. Your companion archetype here is your soulmate, the shadow attribute of the companion. Betrayal by misusing confidences, you could see the connective tissue to there with the gossip. Loss of personal identity, who am I without you? Light attributes, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. So really the toxicity of the shadow, both sides here being alchemized into the light through the contract itself. For the gossip, we have this card of deception, so maybe some of the gossip is more on the gossip side here. Perhaps there have been some things that have been said that have been covered up that they might be afraid of, but that might also be part of their own sense of deception of whether or not they can trust this companion, whether that unselfishness, that loyalty, and that tenacity is at that maxim yet where they can really be together. But it does feel like there's a lot of communication going back and forth between these two, but there are some trust issues in play. I'm just going to say, Cancerian, really try and make amends where you have violated vows of confidentiality. That's going to show you that what you're afraid of is just karma returning, and it doesn't return like that if you do, particularly the integrating the ego mantra, where this is all happening for you, not to you. Keep in mind, the companion here is Shakti, the life dancer, right? The card of the world, the universe, last card of the major arcana before it reboots at the Fool, and then the magician, and around it goes again. So at the end of a cycle, 1 foot almost in this new cycle of theirs, just really finishing off the last little bit. And what's going on as the foundation, the core of this contract right now, is the Nine of Pentacles. So both of you seem to be stable and strong and together individually, physically at least, but I do not get the sense with that Eight of Cups behind you that you are together. You probably pulled back from each other, probably had to, even if you're all sequestered in your private domains together, there's still not a lot of, at least in the past, though there is communication here, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of physical contact, although separately you feel very stable where you are. Moving that into the One of Cups, though, that there is this new offer of love, this new opportunity of happiness, a drop of rain on parched soil that really can be nurtured into something. That one drop can be turned into, there we have the Nine of Cups in the before you position. So what's crowning and coming in right now is the beginning of that happiness, to really begin feeling that for and with each other, that in time it will mature into that Nine of Cups. Again, wish fulfillment, but often very content with the way things are, at least for that point of the journey. Because what is the lesson? Reversal. I let go and let God, I let go and let Goddess, but I also let go of what I think this is, what I believe it to be, what I think the limits are, what the conclusions are that I have drawn. That if I can even just move into that Hanged Man reversal card with getting that everything is happening for me, not against me, then I will see this in such a different way that this Four of Cups situation that we're in from the outside looking in horizontally, that this discontent, it might be just that we just haven't really allowed things to be what they are, and to allow life to do what it has to do for this contract, because this contract will endure beyond this month, right? This is just sort of what's going on right now. I don't feel like the two of you are going to be maybe physically together just yet, considering still what's going on planet Earth. But with that card of destiny, that there are pieces of the puzzle being laid down to both of you individually. If you are both in relationships that are toxic, not working, and the expiration date has passed, feels like your worst fear is that you're going to see that in its completion, right? You're going to really, really see that. That might be happening actually more for the companion come to think of it, because they've got that card of the universe. If you were going to assign a minor arcana numeric scale to the major arcana, certainly the card of the world of the universe would be the 10, which then would reboot the magician as the 1, with the fool in between, obviously. So definitely some resolution here, at least some mental resolution, some pieces of the puzzle being shown, which then bring you to that Cancerian card. And at least for you, the Cancerian watching this, it really is a fulfillment of who you are on some level. It's something about you really being that fourth house representation of that emotional stability, that nurturance, that almost divine mother energy, that Cancerian, that it feels like home, but it's also about you being home within your own skin as you adopt particularly the healing angel of spiritual growth, that being authentic to who you are. You're asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. Like I said, even if it's just for today, it might change tomorrow. You are a Cancerian. Y'all are known to be a little moody that way, and that's okay. That's the waxing and waning of the moon. That's what you incarnated to do in this life. But then this Four of Cups thing, you can say, yeah, this is how I feel. Allow that energy to move through you so that the next wave, of which could possibly be this One of Cups, this wave of happiness, could come in. Keeping in mind the mantra of integrating the ego. The ego is an oversaturated, overstimulated nervous system, right? It's being unraveled and dissolved through this. So understand that everything is for you, not against you. And the more you work that mantra, the more you are going to be able to relax, go with the flow, get into that Nine of Cups in that 6th position, that Kuan Yin, lovely, lovely feeling with that Nine of Pentacles in the core rising up here, really bringing you into balance and stability within your own skin as the Cancerian, but also moving this soulmate contract forward. Wow, that was a lot. That was a lot. It was very, a lot. That was like watching a movie, that last bit there. So, may the Cancerian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their soulmate contract here for June, July 2020, or timeless, that they may heal, they may grow, they may love, they become the best that they can be, experience the happiness, integrate their ego, be authentic to who they are as they grow spiritually, and fulfill their role in the divine plan, and fulfill their contract with their companion in this soulmate contract, and be a blessing upon this world and help fulfill their role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. May you be so blessed. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Again, please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and comment in the comments section below, and help get the word out there for any other crablets that might need it. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of this summer. I'll be back. You'll see me again. Go check your other signs. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.